Welcome back to The Legend of Heroes Trails to Azure, where we want next to go to the Doll Studio. But first we turn in some quests. And I also noticed I still have a item for Tio. Yeah, the Michette plush we got from the Michelin quest. Ep.65. Decorated officer. While at the SS building, LoH and the others decided to take a break. Hey Tio, got a minute? I do. You may come in, LoH. Is it time to depart? Just about. HQ didn't need anything else in particular from us today. Not everyone is set to go yet though, so you can take your time if you want. No need. I'm ready when you are. Huh. I see you got some new additions to your room. Michelle and Kagamaru? I've been building quite a collection. Crossplay has a significant advantage over neighboring countries when it comes to mascot-based merchandise. Well, this is Mishy's hometown after all. And thanks to Michelin Wonderland, his influence is spreading abroad too. On that note, that pink Mishy over there, Michette was it? She's his little sister, right? Correct. Michette is a quintessential little sister character, both harsh on and protective of her helpless big brother. She contains multitudes. Does she now? How many multitudes could a palette swap possibly have? Well, what about that black cat over there? He has the same design as your cushions. Is he related to Mishy? That would be Kagamaru. He's a cat owned by the protagonist of a recent, much-beloved series of novels. Kagamaru's daring brand of cuteness and signature power have contributed to a giant surge in his popularity. You don't say? Come to think of it, I'm pretty sure I've seen him offered as a prize in the casino. To be honest, I've never really understood the appeal of these guys. I mean, they're not exactly what I would call cute. Forget I said anything. While your conclusion is fallacious, invalid, and most of all blasphemous, I can understand how you arrived at it. Mishy's charms are particular and nuanced, with his main selling point being his troubled-looking face. Kagamaru is more of an atypical mascot, whose dour disposition makes him extra endearing to his fans and enthusiasts. Neither fits the conventional wisdom of what qualifies as cute, but that, paradoxically, is what makes them all the more so. You make a strangely compelling point. I guess I've never put that much thought into what people find so charming about them. But while we're on the subject here, which do you prefer? Do you have a favorite? Now you've done it. What? I've tried to avoid this topic, tried to remain ambivalent for far too long. But now that your question has thrown open the floodgates, I will run no more. Tio? You're starting to scare me. We will revisit this grand debate after dinner tonight, at length. Brew yourself a pot of coffee, LoH. We have all night to cover every conceivable angle of this topic. But what about the book I was going to catch up on? My poor sleep schedule. Did I feed a cat today? I did. Alright, car.
どこに行こうかな。
to the doll studio. But we need to walk a bit. Hey, look. A moving truck? Thank you again, Meister. You've been a great help. With these, we'll be all set for the debut of our new performance in a couple of days. Ideas above, your troupe is far too demanding with its request. Each and every one of them. Tuning the automaton would have been work enough, but designing an entire new stage on top of it? I'm a busy man, you know? I really do apologize for that. Ilya and the troop leader can have some pretty lofty standards sometimes. That extra mechanism they asked you to install was something they just couldn't live without. It doesn't matter now. I have no issues with lending my studio's expertise to service your place. I'm sure the goddess would prefer it to the alternative. Thank you. Come to think of it, Meister. We haven't received your response to our invitations yet. Archon would be honored to have you attend the show. It would be our pleasure after the amazing set on automata you've provided us. Your mirror is thanks enough. I appreciate the gesture, as I have said, but I'm a busy man. Oh. I told him he wouldn't go for it. Still, I'd love for him to see how his hard work is being used on stage at least once. Pardon us? Wait, aren't you the SSS? We are. You're the stage technician from Archon Steel, correct? Yep, my name's Heinz. I'm in charge of props and equipment and such. What are all of you doing here? Come to see the Meister? Something like that. We had a little matter we wanted to consult him about. Are you here to pick up a commission? Yeah, we had an order for an automaton tune-up and some new set pieces. It was kinda on short notice with the debut of a revival performance coming up, but he did us a real solid getting it done so quickly. Oh boy. To tell you the truth, everyone in the troupe owes the Meister a torn. You don't say. Speaking of which, isn't the revival performance only a couple of days away? That's right. Ilya and the others are kicking it into high gear right about now. Heck, I've been getting into it myself, all of the changes we made. Have you now? It sounds like you're all primed to put on a real box office hit. That's the idea, but whoops, I'm a little behind schedule. Gotta get back there and set this all up. See you guys later. Stop by and say hi to everyone when you get a chance. Be sure to. Be careful on your way back. You already knew the Meister was one behind Archon Steel's theater magic and all. It kinda makes you forget his place as ties to the society, huh? But it does. Well, at least we know the Meister is in right now. I'm not sure if he's willing to tell us anything about the society, but we'll never know if we don't ask. Right. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, I suppose. Once you enter the doll studio, you will be unable to visit other areas outside of Crosswell for the rest of a day. I don't think I have anything left. LoH used the iron knocker attached to the gate. Excuse us? Mr. Crossbell Police Special Support Section? Meister Rosenberg, we'd like to have a word with you. There's no need to shout. My hearing is still perfectly fine. Whatever business you have must be important if you've come all this way. I don't have very much time to spare, but I will make an exception this once, so long as you keep things short. What? She's so cute! A Rosenberg doll? An automated one by the looks of it. Enter, the little one will guide you. See to it that you don't wander anywhere you're not supposed to. I guess it can't talk. Not what I expected it to. Get a load of this gal. She doesn't look like any machine I've ever seen. Mind taking us to where your master is, little miss? I think we're supposed to follow her? Right, we probably shouldn't keep the Meister waiting. Ouroboros. Just what kind of enemy are we dealing with? Anything else we can just look into quickly? Probably not, but... yeah, she's already going, okay. Loaded the rest of the SSS and followed the automaton in sight. After going through what felt like a maze, they emerged in an underground section of a studio. Pater Marta still here? What is this place? It's incredible! Oh! Is that it? The giant archaism you mentioned before? Yeah, Ren used it back at the Sun Fort. I believe she called it Pater Marta? So this is where it's been. The hell's all this mechano crap doing down here anyway? I thought it was supposed to be a doll studio. I believe those terminals are connected to the Orbital network. It must have been where Kitty was remotely hacking the network. Well, what do you want? Meister Joerg, thank you for allowing us to come in and speak with you. We have a few questions we were hoping to ask. Would they by any chance happen to be about what Campanella has been up to? So you know, do not misunderstand. You are correct that I have ties to the Society. In the end, however, I am nothing more than a humble doll maker. I'm not directly involved with whatever grand scheme they have planned. So in other words, you can't tell us exactly what Campanella is plotting to do? I do not know, nor am I in any position to. However, you should understand that he is an enforcer, not an anguist. He's not authorized to propose plans for the Society to pursue. The anguists, rather, are the ones who draft such arrangements. Now, hold on a minute. This is a little too much to take in all at once. Isn't this insider information? Should you really be giving it to us so easily? Ha! It's hardly confidential. There are many on the continent who know of this already. The Church, the Guild, intelligence agencies of the major powers, and even that is only scratching the surface. The society is so widely known, yet still you are able to freely continue making dolls here. As I said, I'm not in a position to know all of the society's inner workings. Take the archaisms, for example. Their construction relies on technologies from many other workshops besides this one. My studio is but one scale on the ever-coiling serpent. Which is why the Church and Guild will never set foot in here without due cause. I suppose that makes sense. Sometimes someone like you is more valuable if you're still attached to the snake, which makes you a handy source of info. Correct. And I just noticed the door in the back has the Ouroboros emblem on it. Hard to recognize it if you don't know how it looks like, but that is the Ouroboros emblem. Correct. That being said, this studio has already been preemptively outfitted for any contingencies. Even should you break the front door down with an arrest warrant, all you would find is an empty and meager doll studio. Nothing more. Not even Pater Mater. Well, would you like to try your hand at taking me into custody, having heard all that? You may not have another chance. No, that's not why we're here. You've made your point. We'd like to inquire further if you're willing to answer. Lloyd? I guess that's all we can do, but that doesn't mean I like it. A wise decision. I take it you'd all like to know something more concrete than veiled statements and broad outlines? Narrow your questions down to 3, and I will answer them if I can. Fair enough. What 3 questions should we ask him about? Probably these 3. About the Anguis. The Anguis. They are the 7 snake apostles who live and serve to realize the Grandmaster's plans. And back there is again the sigil. Even I do not know all of their identities. However, I'm aware of the Anguis that will be arriving in Crossbelt before long. Is there any way you could tell us more about them? One is a man, the 6th Anguis to be precise. He leads the 13 factories which comprise Ouroboros' technological network. He is the society's greatest theoretician, an engineer with an insatiable appetite. Needless to say, he's a contemptible man. You clearly have a high opinion of him. Just how contemptible are we talking? He's the sort of man who cares for nothing but satisfying his own intellectual curiosity. I am unsure what he hopes to achieve by coming to this land in person, but I can say this for certain. His arrival is anything but good news for Crossbelt. We'll take your word for it. He will not be alone, however. The 7th Anguis, the Steel Maiden, will also be coming to Crossbelt. The Steel Maiden? That's got an ominous ring if I've ever heard one. She is an enigma, to say the least. Briefly put, she's a masterful warrior you have no hope of defeating, even if you were to face her all at once. She's that strong? Huh, trying to wingman your fellow conspirators, I see. It was merely a word of warning. Unlike the 6th Anguis, I've heard the 7th Anguis is a virtuous individual. However, were you to face her unprepared, it will surely cost you your lives. He is not lying. That is probably the hardest battle we will face in this game. About the grand scheme. As I already told you, even I'm not familiar with the details. From what little I've heard in passing, however, I do know what it's called. The Phantasmal Blaze Plan. Phantasmal Blaze. Now there's a name rife with symbolism. This plan, does it entail causing some sort of widespread incident in Crossbow? Like the one in Libo last year? That can't be! There's no way you could let that happen. Stop making me repeat myself, I do not know the details. What I can tell you is that the Society's intervention here pales in comparison to what happened in Libo. The Society prepares to operate from the shadows above all else. They aren't the type to make their move on the surface. Was that supposed to make us feel better? Because it sure as hell ain't working. Seconded, the fact that you can give us nothing but a name makes whatever we're doing all the more suspect. Yeah, that's the Society have relations to the cult. The DG cult, you mean? As far as I know, the two sides never had any direct ties. Having said that, it's a fact that the Society was the one that destroyed the LoH where Ren was being held. What? You're referring to Paradise, right? Yes. My understanding is that the cult used it to lure in and exploit influential individuals from around the continent. In all likelihood, it was brought down because it began to target influential individuals the Society was backing. It's nothing short of a miracle that Ren survived that place. Yeah, Tia was another victim of a cult. She understands. That hell deserves to get wiped out, but it's not like that makes Ouroboros the good guys either. I hope you didn't expect that explanation to win us over. As I said, I'm only telling you what I know. Take it how you will. That makes 3 questions I've answered. You've taken up enough of my time. I'm going to have to ask you that you leave now. But... LoH. Fine, that's what we agreed to. So, we'll just be going, for now. Would you mind if we return for another one of these talks? If I feel so inclined. Keep the following in mind. It's not only Ouroboros that you should have your sights set on. There are other forces to be cautious of in the wake of Crossbow's bid for independence. Wouldn't you say? I guess so. Man's got a point. Sounds like you probably know a thing or 3 about that too. Maybe so, maybe not. Off you go. Follow the little one like you did on your way here. If you wander off, I can't guarantee your safety. I feel like I just came out of a bad dream. The phantasmal blaze plan? And the two Angus making their way to Crossbell to enact it? It is so fantastic that I can barely bring myself to believe it. Just how dangerous are they? From what I've heard about the Libel incident, very. We can't take the threat they pose lightly. Still, if what the Meister told us is true, whatever they're planning in Crossbell isn't as extensive as it was in Libel. That would be a relief. I hear they had an enormous battleship to contend with. Not to mention that giant archaism, Pater Mater. Where did you get that info? The 1st Division has it all labeled as classified. Don't tell me you hear about these kinds of things while working as a host too. My lips are sealed. Something wrong, you two? Well... yeah, just a little. Theodot might be able to explain it better than I could, you mind? I will make an attempt. Having seen the automaton that guided us in and out of the studio, it's become clear the Society is far more mischievous when they are malevolent. Mischievous? Yes, they have more technological prowess than both the Epstein Foundation and the Central Factory, yet squander it by choice. Consider the research necessary to develop Pater Mater. It would be more practical to use those same resources to build 50 airships. You think so? Perhaps they have a source of funding? One deeper than we may realize? Maybe. But whether you're an army or a crime syndicate, efficiency is typically the highest priority of any organization. Recreation typically doesn't have much of a place there, if at all. But Ouroboros turns all of that right on its head. That makes their motives and rationale all the more baffling to me. Took the words right out of my mouth. The thing about it is, no matter how many Anguirs and Archaisms they've got hiding up their sleeves, the Red Constellation and Harry are probably more of an actual threat, realistically speaking. That ain't even taking into account whatever the Empire and the Republic are up to. That's true. Put all 4 of them into one autonomous state together, you've got a disaster waiting to happen. This kitchen already too many cooks without the Society. The big question is, what do they plan to bring to the table? Who's to say? Even backing the terrorists at the trade conference was allegedly on a complete whim on their part. They don't seem to have any interest in involving themselves with conventional power struggles. In that case, would that make what they are working towards as unconventional as everything else they do? That would mean they're completely in over our heads trying to do anything about it. All we can say for sure is that whatever it is, it can't be good for Crossbell. At any rate, we should return home for now. I want to relay all this to the Chief. After that, we should do the same for the CGF and the Guild. Regardless of what the Society is after, the least we can do is make sure we're ready for them. Good call. Back to the city we go. Oh, my Enigma. Who could it be? I get a feeling someone is in need of our services. The Special Support Section, Lloyd Benning speaking. Lloyd? Thank goodness I finally got a hold of you. Oh, hi, Fran. Have you been trying to contact us for a while? I have, but for some reason none of my calls were able to get through. I even tried everyone else's enigmas, but they were a total no-go too. There must have been an orbital wave jammer in the basement of the studio. Sorry about it, we ended up wandering out of signal range. What's going on? Do you have an urgent support request for us? Not quite, no. Half an hour ago there was a train derailment on West Crossbar Highway. A what? Are you serious? I wish I wasn't. The 2nd Division is en route to investigate the scene. The CGF's on its way too, so there's probably no need for you to go? But I figured I should keep you guys in the loop, just to be safe. Got it. Thanks for telling us, friend. If you find out more, let us know as soon as you can. Roger that. Is something the matter? Did Fran have something important to tell us? Well, LoH informed the team of a train derailment that took place on the West Coast Highway. What the hell? A derailment? It just went right off the tracks? Yeah, friends of the 2nd Division and CGF are on their way there, so we can't probably leave it to them. Then again, it would be hard to turn away from something so concerning. I say, the timing is a little too suspicious for my tastes. I have my doubt that this was just a mere accident. Lloyd, what should we do now? We have until the end of the day to report on what we've learned about the Society. For now, let's go to the scene of the accident. We can't overlook the possibility that some sort of foul play was involved, whether from a cryptid or otherwise. At the very least, we can lend a hand investigating the crash site. Agreed. We should hurry. Probably best to take our new ride if we're looking to get there ASAP. The Orwell car can now travel to the scene of a train accident. But I think I end the episode here, and next time we go there. Yeah? Until then, I'm Mace, and don't get lost.